Hello YouTube, Connor Comics here, and today I'm going to be doing sort of look over all of my Spider-Man books that I have. If you've seen any of my collection videos, you know that I have Superior Spider-Man 1 to 6 and Venom the Land Where Killers Dwell, but that's not my full collection of Spider-Man stuff. So I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, wow, I have like way more Batman books than Spider-Man. And I was like, I forgot I have about 100 single issues of Spider-Man. So I thought I'd show you them. I'm going to start out with the first series that I started collecting. And my first single issue that I ever picked up that got me into buying these comics. And that is The Amazing Spider-Man number... Damn it. The Amazing Spider-Man number 1. Now I got this because I had watched The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I was like, I want to try the comics. And yeah, when I went in, luckily this was out right after Superior Spider-Man. So yeah, this was the first ever single issue I brought. Now I have brought comics before, but they were like issue 500 and I didn't carry them on. But this, yeah, I managed to get a number 1 and I carried it on. And then I carried on with the series, so number 2, number 3, number 4, Original Sin. I thought it was an alright story. I wasn't really a fan of it. Then number 5, I have number 7. I can't find number 6, but if I remember correctly, it was just a sort of filler issue. This was like the start of going on to the Edge of Spider-Verse, and it had Miss Marvel. I enjoyed these stories. And you have another Edge of Spider-Verse. Yeah. And then the first ever like proper comic book event that I picked up, and that was Spider-Verse. Now, when I've read it back, I enjoyed the Spider-Verse event, just I read a load of other comics, so I started to get sick of seeing Spider-Verse after month of picking up it. But yeah, now that I read it back just on its own, the Spider-Verse was a pretty good event. It brought back that at the time, right, I think by this point, I had finished Superior Spider-Man. And then the next and then 2 issues later, Superior Spider-Man returns in the Spider-Verse event. So yeah, I thought that was cool. So yeah, that's issue 10. Issue 11. Issue 12. Issue 13. I love that cover, just a group shot of all the different Spider-Men and Spider-Women and Spider-Pigs. Yeah, that's Spider-Ham. Because Spider-Ham's just a cool character. I love Spider-Ham. And then that's another great shot of just all the Spider-Men and women and pigs going up against Marloon's family. I really enjoyed the Spider-Verse. I need to reread that. Then number 15. Sort of the end, the epilogue sort of thing. Then we got into like another story, which... coming off, it wasn't bad coming off a big event. Normally after a big event, it's like filler issues. But yeah, I really enjoyed this stage. Then number 17. And number 18, this was the end of this run because then Secret Wars came along. I hated Secret Wars. Secret Wars was so boring. The only good thing that came out of Secret Wars, in my opinion, was The Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. So yeah, and then finally for this thing was the annual. I can't remember even what happened in this book, but yeah, a big stack of that run. So yeah, now let's move on to another pile that I have. Now I'm going to show you the 5 books that I had, which were sort of tie-in books to the Spider-Verse event. First one, Scarlet... Shit, got that. Sorry. Scarlet Spiders. Look, Venom just wanted to turn and have a look. Yeah, Scarlet Spiders was good. When I went in, they had issue 1 and 3. They never put issue 2 in my folder, so I never got to completely finish the story. That's why I cut it at issue 3, because I sort of skipped a big bit, and they no longer start putting it in my folder, so I don't know what happened there. So, yeah, I think I'll just have to pick this up in a trade paperback or something. I don't know. But yeah, Scarlet Spiders number 1, and Scarlet Spiders number 3. Yeah. And we have Spider-Verse number 1. These were all the other stories. There were some cool ones in here. Especially like the steampunk woman one. I remember enjoying that story. And then number 2, it was alright. Just there was a whole thing where it was all in Spanish, and I was like, why? It was actually half the book was in Spanish, so that was pretty annoying. But yeah. And then this one was shoved in, so I thought it was Spider-Verse number 3, but no, it was Spider-Verse Team Up number 3. So yeah, I only noticed that when I got home. And then I have this, which was in my folder, and I was like, yeah, I'll carry it on. It was interesting, and that is The Amazing Spider-Man Special Inhuman Era Part 1 of 3. The problem was the next part was in Inhumans, and the other part was in... what was it? Inhumans and, like, some other book, but I was like, no, because then that just looks odd in my collection. But yeah, then we get into the Secret Wars books, where we have Spider-Verse number 1. I cut this because it wasn't as interesting as the other book, and money was tight at the time, so I cut this series. It was okay, I suppose. It wasn't the best. And then number 2 was Spider-Gwen jumping down, and Osborn in the top corner. And then what came out of the Amazing Spider-Man run at the time, they had a Secret Wars thing, and that was The Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows number 1. Now, I enjoyed this series. It was an interesting series, and yeah, but this is one thing that I don't like about events or like big things. That, like, I've seen runs where they go on until like issue 40, 50. But then whenever I've started collecting a series, I can't get past issue 20 because there's a new reboot or this sort of thing. So yeah, hopefully I can get past at least like issue 25 of the latest Amazing Spider-Man run. I don't know, it's just annoying. Because I see other people, it's like, yeah, I picked up issue 57 of Batman. It's like, I want to be able to get up to that with somebody like Spider-Man or something. But yeah, that's number 1. Sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent there. Sorry. Then we have Amazing Spider-Man number 2. This had Venom in it, and he was awesome. Venom in this just looked amazing. And then he got his black suit, which was cool to see. Amazing. I love the look of that suit. It looks awesome. And then it's in this universe they had a child, and basically the child had powers too, so it was cool seeing her kick some ass. And then the end, I really enjoyed this series. Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. I would recommend you picking it up. It was an interesting series. So yeah, there's another big pile of books which I'm going to add down to here. Now let's move on to the next series that came out. Now we have the ongoing series that I'm reading at the moment, starting out with the restart of The Amazing Spider-Man, because they seem to love rehashing books, which was sort of annoying, but I'm enjoying it so far. And that is The Amazing Spider-Man number 1, once again. But this is where he's basically a billionaire and he has cool cars and cool gadgets. I'm sort of enjoying the new look of him, but I still picked up another book that I'll show you in a minute, and I'll explain why. this is cool seeing another version of Spider-Man and what he gets up to in this new sort of style and status quo. Then we have number 2. I really like the look of that cover. I don't know why, it just looks so great with the webs, and I don't know what the name of that bridge is. I don't live in America, so don't judge. But yeah, an awesome cover. And then in this issue 3, he teamed up with the Human Torch, and I enjoyed their sort of things between them and sort of him reminiscing. And yeah, in this there was a cool bit which I really enjoyed, which was where basically Parker Industries took over the Baxter building, but Spider-Man still kept the statue of the Fantastic Four in there just as a tribute to them. And I thought that was a really cool emotional moment in the book. And we have number 4. This was where his Aunt May's charity work, I think, was in danger, so he had to go and save it. Pretty sure that was it, yeah. And then you have the end of the Zodiac storyline, where it'd been going on for like up until this, and this was the end of the Zodiac storyline. I enjoyed the Zodiac storyline; it was good. And then we have issue 6, which is Dark Kingdom, which is him going up against Mr. Negative, Dr. Negative, Mr. So yeah, this was, I think it's Dr. Negative. I can't quite remember. So yeah, I enjoyed the start of this. It has where he's basically recruited Cloak and Dagger and some other people to go up against Spider-Man. And I do have the next issue. I just haven't got round to reading it. So yeah, I do have issue 7. I just haven't got round to reading it because I was reading Deadpool, and at the moment I'm reading Superman Batman. I'm already 2 issues into that, so yeah, that might take a bit more time to have a review out for, because it's like 13 issues and I read an issue per night, just so that I get more time out of it. I might start doing 2 issues per night if you guys really want that review. But yeah, The Amazing Spider-Man issue 7. And then the 3 series that I have is Spider-Man Deadpool number 1. This was good, and I know issue 2 is out. I just haven't gone to my comic book store to pick it up. Sad face. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that. Reading number 2. Then we have Spidey, which one of you lucky guys got to win this. I can't quite remember your name. Geek Unboxing, I think it was. But that was, I think, last month, and my memory is shit. But yeah, Spidey, I really enjoyed this. And the reason why I picked it up is I heard that it was going back to the sort of roots of him being in secondary school and this sort of thing, and him having to get through with bullies. So I prefer this book at the moment over The Amazing Spider-Man. But I just think that's because it's sort of what I'm used to from the movies and TV shows. And then I still have to read this too, and I'm really looking forward to it because, like I said when reading, which book was it? Earth 2 The Gathering, it had alternate universe versions of The Flash and Green Lantern. So I'm looking forward to reading alternate universe version of Spider-Man. Now I know it's in the same universe now, but just to see the similarities and the differences. So yeah, Spider-Man number 1. So yeah, that is the complete collection, done and dusted, I suppose. Pretty big pile. Let's see if I can get this all in frame. Yep, that's all of it. So yeah, tell me down below, do you collect Spider-Man comics? How many do you have? And tell me if you want to see me do another collection thing. If there's any other characters that you think you'd like me to see. Like, I could do Star Wars. I have a couple of Star Wars single issues that I can show you. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.